Hello. Every winter brings viruses that strain the health system, but this year, warnings are sharper, the numbers are worse, and a single strain of influenza has become the central threat. That strain is H3N2. Do you know the end of the Disney film Sword in the Stone, where Merlin infects the witch, Madam Mim, and he says, "No, you've caught me. I'm a virus." And yes, I think I've also caught this, and it's horrible. I think I'm slightly protected because I had a flu jab, but nevertheless, it's taken a week to get to a point where I feel I can potter around. Influenza A H3N2 has circulated for decades, yet it's unpredictable. It mutates continually, and this summer it acquired 7 significant new mutations. And those changes have given the virus 2 troubling advantages. It spreads more easily and it slips past some of the immunity we built from previous infections and vaccines. And that is why the flu season has arrived more than a month early. It's why hospital admission figures are rising at a pace not seen in years. And it's why public health leaders warn that this could be the most severe flu outbreak for at least a decade. The letters refer to 2 proteins on the virus surface, H for hemagglutinin and N for neuraminidase. And these determine how the virus locks onto our cells and how efficiently it escapes our immune defenses. H3N2 has always been harder on older adults, and when it dominates a season, we often see more hospitalizations, more deaths, and in England right now it accounts for the overwhelming majority of lab-confirmed flu cases. They come on fast, they hit hard, a sudden high temperature, exhaustion, widespread muscle aches and a dry cough. Unlike a common cold, flu knocks people off their feet. Children, pregnant women, those with heart or lung disease, diabetes or weakened immune systems are most at risk, as are people over 65. Symptoms include sometimes vomiting and diarrhea, particularly in younger patients. The evidence is stark that this flu epidemic is rising sharply. More than 1,700 people a day are being admitted to hospitals with flu in England, up to 56% on last year and around 7 times higher than 2023. There is bluntly no peak in sight. NHS executives are preparing for that figure to triple. Doctors are already reinstating masks in some hospitals to contain outbreaks. 3 forces are driving this surge. First, immunity gaps. H3N2 has not been dominant for several years. Fewer people, especially children, have recent exposure, so the population is more vulnerable. Second, the mutations that emerged in June occurred after the vaccine composition was finalized in February. It still works, but the match is less precise. Third, conditions favor spread. Colder weather, indoor socializing, and the relentless circulation of multiple seasonal respiratory viruses at once. I suspect I contracted mine simply by being in an airport or on an aeroplane. Third, how effective is the current virus? Is the current vaccine against the virus? Well, the vaccine remains our strongest protection. Early UK data is reassuring. In children aged between 2 and 17, it's reduced hospital attendance by around 70 to 75%. In adults by around 30 to 40%. That is normal, even in a drift year where the virus has evolved away from the chosen vaccine strain. More importantly, it reduces severe disease. On that measure, it is essential. Should we be worried? Well, maybe. We should start by being alert and sensible. For most healthy adults, flu is simply unpleasant but manageable. However, history is clear. H3N2 seasons bring heavier burdens on hospitals and greater danger to the frail. Last winter, around 8,000 deaths were associated with flu. 2 years earlier, the figure was twice that. If admissions continue to rise at their current rate, pressure on the NHS will mount rapidly. It comes at a time when industrial action is already straining services. What can we do as a result of this? Well, there are 3 simple actions that can make a big difference. We can get vaccinated if you're eligible. Over 65s, pregnant women, carer, home care home residents and anyone with long-term health conditions. Protection takes a couple of weeks to build. We can stay at home, wear a mask if unwell to avoid infecting others, especially the vulnerable. Practice better hygiene, hand washing, ventilation, basic caution. None of this is complicated. It is simply responsible citizenship. There is uncertainty. Flu may plateau sooner than expected. It may shift into a different dominant lineage. Or the opposite may occur, and this winter may surpass the worst projections. But we're not powerless. We have vaccines. We have antiviral treatments for those at highest risk. We know exactly how flu spreads and how to slow it. So we should approach this season neither with complacency nor with panic, but we should protect those who cannot protect themselves, and we should reduce the avoidable tragedies that influenza can cause. In short, vigilance, vaccination, and compassion are the three indicators, the three benchmarks of consistent security. The vigilance, vaccination, and compassion will carry us through.